on, everybody? It is that time for another episode of ColumbusBlack.com's Becosystem, right? So we do this once a month, typically the last Saturday of each month. We obviously are making some adjustments due to the holidays and what's coming up. But I'm really excited, y'all, to have you here with us today. I want to double check. I want to make sure we are live. We should be live on both Facebook as well as on YouTube right now. So I'm going to double check because I don't want you all to miss anything. And I want to make sure everybody that should be up to speed is actually up to speed, right? So as we're getting ready for that, what I want to do is I want to share what we do here at Columbus Black. So we've been around for 16 years this month. So really excited about that. And we've really evolved over time. We've had a lot of learnings. We've grown as a business and a company. And our goal is to continue to evolve and to be the primary online resource connecting the Black community in Central Ohio to commerce and to culture. So what does that really mean? Well, the commerce side is business, right? So we do support Black business series on Thursdays to really ensure that we're supporting our Black-owned businesses. We connect other corporations and businesses to the Black community, right? So we're a great advertising platform to get your information out and connect with the Black community as well. And in addition to that, we do the culture side. Culture is about lifestyle. So making sure you all are aware of what's actually going on in this great city. We have so many amazing things that are happening here and that will happen here, especially coming out of the pandemic. We want to make sure that we're a resource to keep you up to speed. So now, what is this Becosystem all about, right? So what we've done is over time, as I said, we've evolved and grown. And one of the things that we recognize is that there is a strong ecosystem in Columbus, Ohio, specifically, but growing all around the nation, especially around tech and technology, right? So what we understand is that when it comes to Black technologists or those of us that are playing in this ecosystem, there's some gaps there, right? We continue to hear about 1% here, 2% there, less than 2%. Well, guess what? There are people who are literally not talking about what we should be doing, but they're doing it, right? So they're building its ecosystem. You're getting the information and the word out. And today, I have the honor of having 3 guests, 2 from the Central Ohio market and 1 from Atlanta, which, as y'all know, we've been bringing on different people from around the country because the ecosystem is not just about Columbus or Central Ohio. It's about our ecosystem around the country and how we need to and can work together to help each other, right? So with that being said, you notice you can see 2 of our guests on screen. The other one is not on screen, but he will be able to share with us. And so today we actually have the pleasure of having Roy Scott out of Atlanta with us today. So Roy's on the line. We have Yohannan, Terrell, otherwise known as Yogi. Most of y'all in Columbus know Yogi as well. So he's going to be sharing what he's doing. And then we have Omar Nesmith, and Omar's here on behalf of Venture Combine, and he's doing a bunch of other things as well. So we're going to talk about that. Now, before we get started, I do want to recognize our sponsor. So this is actually sponsored by the founders of Venture Suite, as well as Color Coded Labs, Venture Combine, 1921 Ventures, and Black Hat. So we want to thank them for their support in helping us to build this ecosystem discussion, because there's so many of us doing amazing things and we need to talk about it. Now, here's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting that those of you that are listening, right, you're going to gain some knowledge today. I call those gem drops. So y'all gonna see me going like this when they start dropping these gems, because trust me, the knowledge that's on this line right now is amazing. So make sure you, 1, take notes. 2, I need y'all to hit the share button. Why? Because there's so many other people who need to hear this. Any entrepreneur, any potential entrepreneur, any current business owner that's at any phase is going to want to listen to this message. So I'm asking you all to tag them and share, because we want to spread this word and not let this knowledge just be to you. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with our introductions. And we're going to do the courtesy, right? So we're going to show some Southern hospitality, even though we're out of the Midwest. So we're going to turn it over for Roy to be able to introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you have going on, Roy.
Absolutely. Super excited to be here. My name is Roy Scott. I'm founder and CEO of Healthy Hip Hop, and we are building an urban Disney. What we do is take the urban hip hop beat and put a positive message over it about education and health and wellness. And we found success with using that as a learning tool to improve focus, engagement, and behavior with children. And so we've pivoted to a tech company. Our platform, you can think Spotify meets TikTok in a curated environment for children and families. And we all know how influential hip hop culture is. It's the most consumed genre in the world, and we want to use it to transform a generation.
Wow. And the name of it again is Urban Hip Hop, right?
No, it's Healthy Hip Hop.
Healthy Hip Hop.
Healthy Hip Hop, yeah. And our North Star is to become an urban Disney. So I'm trying to get some context of, like, you know, the path we're on.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, listen, this is what we're going to do is we're going to be coming back because we want to hear the story as to how did you even get there, right? Because that's the backdrop we want people to understand. But before we do that, go ahead. So Yogi, we're going to go ahead and come to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you have going on.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? My name is Yohannan Terrell. I am a partner at Warhol on Wall Street. We're a branding firm here in Columbus, Ohio. We really focus on engagement. We think from a human perspective. We do full service, but we really work with our partners on strategy, developing your creative, developing your brand, also creating content. We are storytellers. We do a ton of video, ton of social, but mostly experiential as well too. We do everything from trade show disruption to festivals, and we do all types of fun stuff to engage with people. So that's my day job, and then we also just launched a nonprofit called the Columbus Fashion Alliance, which is a multi-year initiative to really build an ecosystem of fashion here in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus being the #3 fashion city, we are here to put a stamp on the fashion capital of the Midwest. So a lot of things going on. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay, so by the way, y'all see, I got started on the gem drops, right? I bet a lot of people to know #3, right? Columbus, fashion capital in the nation. We're gonna come back to that in a minute. He has a story to tell. All right, Omar, why don't you tell us who you are and what you got going on?
How you doing? Thanks for being here. My name is Omar Nesmith. I am a co-founder and director of Venture Combine. So this is an accelerator and incubator, minority facing, that's really coming to put a different spin on what we come to know within the entrepreneurship and startup space. So we're going to actually cater some of the training and coaching and, to our culture and how we do things. And I'm just one of a vertical of many verticals in a suite of ventures where I am on the entrepreneurship side, but we have workforce development with our color-coded labs, as well as Venture Suite as our co-working space, and then Black Hat as our community. So as we talk about this Becosystem, we want to be one of the anchors of that Becosystem as we develop these integrated verticals.
Outstanding. So good stuff. I want to hear the backdrop on that one too. So Roy, let's come back right in healthy hip hop, and let's talk about how did you even come up with this idea? What's the backstory behind this? When did you come up with it? What was the light that went off that said, hey, this is an opportunity? Because we know what business is all about, a problem and a solution. So help bring us up to speed on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was that kid who was really influenced by hip hop culture and music. Didn't really have a lot of guidance around me. Did not understand the importance of education. And so after I came out of high school, I had an opportunity to play Division I basketball on a scholarship, and decided, nope, I'm gonna skip all that because I want to be a rapper. I was really tied to my guys in the streets that was doing music, and I decided to go that route. So not the smartest decision, but on that journey, I had my wake up call when I was picking up my son Justice from school. That's why I'm about to take to his basketball game now. He was about 4 years old at the time, and on the way home, I noticed him repeat my music word for word, and so those lyrics promoted drugs, violence, misogyny. And that was my light bulb moment. I said, you know what? I can't be this kind of influence on my son or anybody else for that matter. And that's when Healthy Hip Hop was born. And so it started just with the music. And so it's like the swing of the spectrum. I'm coming from doing gangster rap to now I'm doing, healthy hip hop for kids. But that was also really our value proposition, because the music, it sounded like the streets. It sounded relevant to what was happening in the community. So parents and teachers gravitated towards it, because usually when you think about kids' music, it's a little bit watered down, so ours has stayed true and authentic to the culture, but was all positive about uplifting our youth.
Wow. That's really amazing stuff, man. And I think we see, especially right now, how important and critical that is. And I appreciate you sharing that backdrop, right? Like it really clicked when you saw your own child basically reciting that information. Right. That's powerful. Okay. Absolutely. Good stuff. So we're going to come back in a minute because we want to know like where things are and what you got going on. But I'm going to jump over to Yo real quick. Yo, obviously Warhol and Wall Street, man, powerful name, right? When you think about the brand, and then with the fashion piece, help us understand on both sides of those, like what made you decide to do both of those? What's the backstory?
To be honest, we through the work that we've been doing with Warhol on Wall Street, one of our main strengths is really strategy. I love solving problems. We love solving problems creatively. And so we've been doing that for about 10 years now. This August will be our 10-year anniversary. So we're really excited about that.
Congrats.
Yeah. You try to reach those milestones, and 10 years for us is a big deal. So we're going to be celebrating that this year. But actually, we fell into the fashion initiative through really brand research. We were on a committee trying to learn about how to make Columbus as a city more attractive to the next generation. And so when we found out that Columbus was the number 3 fashion city, my mind started ticking and saying, hey, how do we leverage that? How do we start to learn about that? How do we add that into our city's brand? So it started off as almost a brand exercise of how do we take fashion and incorporate it into the brand of the city? Because a lot of people don't know fashion is a part of our brand. And so that is how the fashion initiative at least sparked an idea. And so over the past 3 years, we've been doing research just like we would if we were doing research for a brand. We've been doing research. We've been learning the industry. What is that ecosystem here? And then learning where those opportunities were. And one of the biggest things we found is that there was a lack of access. There's the big retail market here, right? We're the number 1 hub for retailers. We have the 3rd largest amount of fashion designers outside of New York and LA. We ship 80% of international fashion comes through Columbus. We're just the hub for a lot of fashion. People pick our city for fashion every day, and we don't know it. So
right,
culture here that's thriving, and then you have the business here in the industry. There was a big disconnect. So through that research, we discovered that. And so, when you're talking about your brand is not what you say about yourself. It's about what you do. We said, yeah, for real. So we said, okay, if we're really going to make fashion a part of our brand, it's got to be by what we do in the city, not what we say. So we're building this ecosystem now to offer access to everybody. So what access to retailers have, we're giving that access to the community now. And then we're connecting them audiences so that we create a pathway for the next generation of fashion. So it's really one really big, huge brand exercise of how do we incorporate this? What do we do in our city that will change our city's brand over the next 5 to 7 years, so that 5 to 7 years from now, when you talk about Columbus, you'll be saying, oh, that's the fashion capital of the Midwest. I know that city. So that's how it all kind of came together between the two.
Okay. Y'all saw it. I started dropping these. Why? Because he was dropping it. That's some serious knowledge. And I bet most people have no idea. And guess what? The thing is, it's being built right now. We're going to talk more about that. And you all get to be a part of it. That's amazing. Good stuff. So Omar, tell us a little bit more about how this whole venture combine thing come about and what's going on there. Help us understand that a little bit more. What's the backstory?
With Venture Combine, there's just has been for years now a lot of activity, especially in the minority community when it comes to technology. It doesn't get as much airplay as a lot of the other communities. And Venture Combine actually came about because, Bruce and Brandon Jones hooked up. I met them through Kevin. Noticed that we ran parallel in a lot of circles within the Columbus area and in the startup world and the tech side. And what was happening is you saw us at events, but we didn't see the traction and activity happening within our community. And the one thing that I do know with our community and all Black and brown communities is, we spot opportunity. We have that level of socialization, but we weren't seeing, a good idea actually come to fruition. So, my background has been, I pivoted. I went from, my background is in technology, but I started a business, went through a marketing phase where I did financial services. Then I pivoted around the time when real estate was blowing up. I did some investments in real estate. But what ended up happening was, I grew tired of just kind of seeing technology for the sake of technology. Like, we have all these issues in our community, and I saw how technology could enable the solution to those provide a solution for a lot of the challenges that we face. And I wasn't seeing those types of products being released, even though I knew they were being presented and talked about from members of our own community. So as far as the way Venture Combine got started, I mean, I basically stopped and pivoted. When I met Bruce and Brandon and Kevin, and I'm like, look, these cats are already doing something. And what I found is in my walk is I always was the only one. It was hard to build a team, hard to get, buy-in from the community, and particularly because I was talking about technology. I wasn't, necessarily talking about food or maybe entertainment, which a lot of our businesses, and they're great businesses, but it's about how do we scale those things. So it was just the opportunity to actually have what we're building out now within our team as integrated verticals. These are things that exist. The problem is it's disconnected, it's siloed. So when you need help in regards to getting a contract, maybe with the state or a government, or if it's getting funding, or if it's, hiring more people, like all of these things and services, not only are they available, there are also two minority businesses that could provide those services to you. There's a whole value chain out there, and it's just disconnected. So, I mean, when I got the opportunity to meet 4 other brothers that was doing it, I said, we're going to have to stop and pivot and get in.
All right. Good stuff. And hence Venture Combine is rocking and rolling, coming to you soon. We'll hear more about that later. But no, that's good stuff. And that's the part that's critically important, right? He mentioned it, right? And I use the word fragmented. We as a community have been fragmented and not necessarily working collectively. And it's not that we aren't doing things. You can see right here on the screen, things are being done. Are we working together? Hence the ecosystem, the Black and Brown ecosystem, titled the Becosystem, right? So that's what this is all about. So we're going to come back and talk about some of that in a minute. Roy, we're going to swing right back your way. So you gave us the background, right? So now we understand, what you got going on. We understand how you got started. Help us understand like where things are and what you have coming up. Like, what are some of the milestones ahead? What are you trying to accomplish so people know? Because we're going to end up getting to how we help and support you as a community and as a Becosystem.
Yeah, for sure. So where we started was basically, initially with the music, and again, our North Star vision is to become an iconic children's brand. So that's why I said Urban Disney or like a Sesame Street of the 21st century. And so started with the music, evolved to curriculum. We did a children's television pilot, a lot of live events. So we had done over 1,500 live events, reaching hundreds of thousands of children. But big picture, kind of to tag on what Omar was saying, to scale this, we knew we had to pivot into the tech space. And also kind of wanted to piggyback on what Omar was saying is the reason I was just paying attention to what was going on in every industry, as far as if it was, the music industry, it was Spotify, Apple Music, etc. If it was, the film industry, it's Netflix, Hulu. If it's automotive, it's Lyft, Uber. You can keep going on at every industry. So I knew whoever was making the software, the innovative technology, that was winning and scaling. And so that's why we made that pivot. And also what I wanted to point onto what Omar was saying is like, this is the closest the Black and Brown community has ever been to equal access to wealth, because historically wealth has been based on, real estate and education, stuff that we historically been blocked from. It's been based on, like natural resources. But right now, if you have the internet and a laptop, you can build $1 million business in your bedroom, right? And so that's what I think it's important that we teach our young kids, like, man, this is the closest we've been to equal opportunity, and we need to maximize on that. So that one to tell my story is hard. We pivoted to the tech space, and so we did some real deep customer discovery on how teachers and parents were using healthy hip hop. And so we created an online platform where educators can live stream our content and educational resources to bring culture to the classroom and improve focus and engagement. And then our mobile application, which is currently live on iOS and Android. This is where parents can stream the music exclusively through our app like Spotify, but then they can also create these TikTok style videos but in a more secure network for children. Because this was also inspired by my kids. I have a 12-year-old daughter who loves TikTok, but at the end of the day, it's still social media. So anybody can access her. She's exposed to a lot of the wrong content. And so within the Healthy Hip Hop app, we have our Safe Circle technology where they can create, publish, and share without everybody having direct access to your kids. And so, yeah, we made that pivot. And right now, what we're at, we're closing on a round of funding. We actually closed our private round and just recently launched our Republic campaign, which is regulated crowdfunding. So we're doing that. We currently have about 6,000 active users on the platform. And we're still in what we consider a public beta, but we're getting prepared for our full launch this fall. Just secured our biggest contract to date with the Dallas Independent School District. And now it's like putting together a real strong go-to-market strategy, really getting people in the culture to get behind us, because we know there's a whole bunch of hip hop artists that got kids. I mean, for example, you may have seen a video recently where, Cardi B was playing WAP until her daughter walked in, you know what I mean, and she turned it off, you know what I mean? So we want to get artists in the game to be like, hey, look, we know y'all rock with my music, but your kids should be listening to healthy hip hop, because we're still we're culturally relevant. We're just a positive alternative, because we definitely knocking hip hop. We love hip hop. I'm a product of the culture, but we just want to fill that gap of culturally relevant hip hop that is safe to engage with children and families, and that's where healthy hip hop fills that gap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do it for the kids, y'all. Do it for the kids. Hey, listen, congratulations on that contract. We're excited about that private round that you just had. And then what we're going to do is, as we get ready to go to a wrap up later, I want to talk about your equity crowdfunding campaign on Republic and how people can get on board and support that effort as well. Okay. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. That's cool. So, let's jump on in. Right. So walk us through, you talked about the background, and we understand now, wow, number 3. So what are you working on, right? And how can the community get involved with that? And then what's next for you? What are some of the milestones you're looking at accomplishing?
Yeah, well, definitely. I'll say, since, we're talking about Becosystem, and what we're building through the Fashion Alliance is an ecosystem, right? And there's a lot of B in that ecosystem right now. We making sure that we're creating pathways. So for us, last year was about building a space. It's a 3-phased approach. So our first phase is building the community, because one, we need to connect the people here. Just like you guys were talking about early, Omar, you were talking about silos. Our city, the industry has been here, but it's been siloed, right? And it's been disconnected from the community. So our first thing was to kind of start breaking those silos, because both sides need it. The retail side needs it right now, and the community needs it. So our first goal was to build a place for that. So when you think about LA and New York, they both have institutions that support the fashion industry as well as other big cities, but we didn't have one here. So that's kind of what we built. I'm actually in the space right now. This is one of our labs that we built. This is our design lab. So if you look at this room, we have 3 other rooms, but if you look in this room, we have Mac computers with design software on them, University of Fashion, Business of Fashion, Clo Design. We got design tablets. So you can literally come in here and learn everything from marketing, styling, to how to sew a shirt or make a dress pattern on your own time. So giving access to the people so that they can learn after work on the weekends, things like that. We have a production lab that has about $150,000 worth of equipment, from sewing machines to direct-to-garment printers, embroidery machines, fabric printers. So you can literally come in here and build your own product from concept to creation. You can walk in with nothing, walk out with something in your hand. So building that type of access, there's nothing like that, definitely in this region. Very few places like that across the country. So only Columbus can benefit from creating a space where, matter of fact, we were in here the other day, and there was an executive from a big retailer who was meeting a couple of cats who just started a streetwear line. And next thing you know, they're talking and they're exchanging information, following each other. And we're like, this is what our city uniquely has an opportunity to do. So what we see over the next few years, phase 1, build a community. Phase 2, we're going to build an actual bigger hub that has small batch production in it. I can't tell you exactly what we're working on right now, but we got some really big announcements coming up soon. And again, since our diversity is our foundation because of who has been here to form it. You know what I'm
Drop
saying?
it.
So we're making sure that our people are included. We've been, since even with COVID, we did a whole initiative to help Black mask makers and designers, provide and get some dollars. We gave $100,000 away. Not even gave it away. We actually paid for the work that was done by Black designers and sewers. We're going to do the same thing this summer. We're working with My Brother's Keeper on a big project where we're taking some of these young men and we're going to engage them over the summer to actually create some different collections. So phase one is really in full effect. We're going to build that hub in phase two. And ultimately our goal is to build a full-fledged design district here in Columbus, Ohio, that has companies, jobs. We're doing workforce development and really starting to build true pathways for people. So that includes a venture fund for fashion. And so we're making sure that our people are there at the table because we're building the table. So this is one of those opportunities where, we're sharing information. Me and Kev talk all the time. We talk to other people about being there on the ground floor so that as we're building the table, we're the first ones to take advantage of some of those opportunities that we see that we know that we drive, especially when it comes to the culture of fashion. So those are some of the things that's on the horizon, man. It's exciting. Good stuff.
Man, I all I can say is if anybody just heard that and you're not like fired up, like I'm fired up, if you're not over there doing gem drops with me right now and clapping and saying, I need you to rewind, right? And I want you to try it again. I want you to start all over, right? So when we kick this thing off, I told y'all, like, work is being done. That's why the people we have on is because the work is being done. We talk a lot, but people are doing. And I'm tired of us thinking that ain't nobody doing, right? Hence the reason why we're doing this right now. Thank you for that update. I can't wait for us to talk about next steps at this point to support what you all are building from a fashion ecosystem that everybody who's interested in that industry should be knocking down the door to get involved. This is a great opportunity. All right, I'm gonna get off the soapbox. Omar, going to you. So talk about, right, like, okay, how'd you get to this point, right? We understand the backdrop, but what are some of the milestones? What's coming up next with Venture Combine?
So what's coming up, Venture Combine is looking to launch multiple events that's coming up in Q4. So we're looking at pitch competitions. We're looking at hackathons. And just like what Yogi and Roy said, it's about bringing these ideas to the table. Now, they already have a product. They already have a concept. They already got some action. But at Venture Combine, now you're going to have access to resources. What does that roadmap look like for your product? What does that role look like for your scaling strategy? See, so that's where at Venture Combine, we're going to take it to the next level. And once again, it's all in one spot. It's a one-stop shop. You have the verticals through the Becosystem. You have the value chain to get you from your initial concept and even your initial launch and rollout. Now let's operationalize it. What does it look like? When you look at the startup funding model, right? And that's one of the things that got me. Even I went to school and they still teach this today. It is the whole start by yourself, use your own credit, friends and family round. Like most of us don't have a friends and family round, right? We out at that. I mean, we barely get $200 less, 20,000. I mean, that's not happening. That's the difference in culture. And that's why we're culture focused. What do you have to deal with within your culture? How do we mitigate what has been said to be the standard? Well, that's not our standard. So now how can we work our way and find new opportunities from a funding perspective? So Venture Combine is that solution. It is that solution, and it has all of the parts and pieces that you need along with other organizations within the Becosystem. So look for us. We're going to be dropping in Q4 as a start. And you know what? The one thing that folks can do, first of all, don't discount anything, any idea that you have. I would always say, get your elevator speech together. If you can do a pitch deck, do that. But if you don't, still come. Still come.
Okay. He just dropped something. Here's the deal. And it was heavy. I know that each of you have dealt with this, right? He said, if you have an idea, hold on to that idea and begin to bake it out, right? We all know that when you start telling people about your idea, most people are going to be like, it's not a good idea. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to do that? Oh, that's never going to work, right? So we hear a lot of that. Be cautious of that, right? Everybody's not going to have your vision. And if we stop every time somebody told us, why are you doing that, or that's not going to work, guess what? There'll be a lot of failure in society. So now what you do want to do, though, is you do want to support you want to surround yourself, should I say, with the right resources, hence the people you see on this screen right now, because this is how you build, right? Through those relationships, through those networks, and getting that knowledge, like the gems that are being dropped on here. But I'm gonna swing back because Omar was talking about, you know, the friends and family piece. And we know that when it comes to access to capital and or access to relationships, even bigger, right? And resources is where we normally have the gap, right? Historically, that's where it's been. But now we're evolving and we're starting to open up some of these doors. Do me a favor, Roy, can you take us to the fact that you broke down from a funding standpoint that you were raising some funds, right? Which a lot of people say that they want to do. Can you break down how you are going about that to bring us up to speed?
Yeah, for sure. So kind of my roadmap has been when I first was starting the company, because Omar grew 100%. Like I didn't have friends and family I could pull on. You know, I definitely didn't want to, leverage my personal credit and go in debt. So when I first started off was going through competition. So really refining, like you said, my elevator pitch, getting the pitch deck together, getting some of these key foundational things to tell a really compelling story. And I ended up, when we pivoted to the tech side, securing about 100,000 in non-dilutive grants. And so that was all through pitch competitions and non-dilutive. For anybody listening that may not know, that just means there's no strings attached, no equity in the company. It's just a straight out grant. And for the for-profit side, because a lot of people don't know that you can get the grants on the for-profit side too. So was focusing on all the non-dilutive capital and pitch competitions I could do to get off the ground. Did some early stage accelerators to really fine tune our business model, how we're going to generate revenue, how we're going to acquire new customers, et cetera. And after going through that, I really understood kind of our financial projections, et cetera. And that put us on the path to start raising some private equity. And so we were successful at raising a pre-seed round it took some time, right about $500,000. It took us about, 2 years to do it, but we got it done. And then after going through that, got accepted into some bigger name accelerators. So in 2020, we were in Techstars Social Impact here in Atlanta. And then also got awarded the Google for Black Founders Fund, which was another non-dilutive investment as well for $100K. So kind of been on that track, and then really understanding the private equity side, closed up our private round. And recently where we're at right now, guys, kind of want to give you some context on like all the different methods of, we've been raising funds and that anybody could do, just sticking to the grind and pushing through it. What we're doing right now is what's called Reg CF, so regulated crowdfunding. So typically when you think about crowdfunding, somebody will put up money and it's reward based. Like they'll get maybe a item or they get early access, et cetera. It's reward based. But this, the regulated crowdfunding, it's actually equity based. So you can invest starting at $100, and that's going to equate to you having shares in the company. And so now, the reason this was so important to me is because it's essentially like democratizing the venture capital process somewhat, because now anybody can become an angel investor or become like early stage VC. You can invest in companies that typically, you'd have to have tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars to come in on this. So now, not only can you, be a customer of Healthy Hip Hop and support us, but now you can invest and have a, equity share in the company. So I always say, like, in regards to us, imagine if you could invest it on Disney on the ground level. Like right now, that would be a sizable investment for you. So similar with us, it's like, hey, this is Healthy Hip Hop on the ground level, giving everyday people an opportunity to invest and become shareholders in the company. And right now we're on Republic. I'm going to put our link in the chat. You look at on.
Yep.
And, and we'd love to have you all on this journey with us as we, continue to roll this out and become an iconic children's brand.
Outstanding. Y'all saw me dropping mad gems because he was dropping those gems, y'all. He's talking about the whole process, right? He talked about raising funds through grants, right? Non-dilutive. And he was explaining that means no equity in the company. So it's not diluting the company, not giving up any ownership, but getting money, right, through grants to help build your business. That's massive. Most people don't know that. So when we sit here and we say, I need money, there are different ways, and you can do a lot of research and check different things, especially now, right? There's a lot of opportunity. So thank you, Roy, for breaking that down, walking through the Reg CF joint as well, so people understand. And now you have the ability for as low as $100 to now get behind businesses, right? You're buying them at pennies a share, right? And you're able to get some shares and some equity in these up and coming brands and businesses and help support others. This is the way that we do it. It's been regulated. Now it's unregulated, or should I say it is regulated, but it's an opportunity for us all to play a part in that process, okay? And that's massive. So thank you for the knowledge there and breaking it down. And he just dropped his link for Republic. So anybody that wants to be a part of building this, as he said, iconic brand is there for y'all. That's what this is about. So let's switch those gears. Yo, I saw you shaking your head too. You get it. Now you've also raised some funds in different ways. So break it down to us, like anything you want to add to that, but then also like what are you looking to do as far as what you need as well as you move forward?
Yeah. No, first of all, I mean, I've been loving everything that we're hearing from Roy to Omar. Like, you're right, man. It's been a lot of this going on, Kev. It's been a lot of you put it together. You're going out with a bang on this season, baby. That's good. That's good.
The finale, baby.
But like Roy was saying, there's different ways to raise funds, but it starts off with the first thing that Omar said is, man, you got to stick to your vision. And anything that's been built has been built through somebody's vision. And that person didn't listen to everybody else. So that's really strong. What Omar is saying is like, people going to tell you, no, that's not going to work. And I've been told that many times, like, just get a job. You'll be good if you got into corporate, all that type of stuff. And no matter how the ebbs and flows go, I understood that vision was going to get me there. So we're doing the same thing. We worked on this thing for free for years, doing the research, talking to the right people. Because we knew it was blue ocean strategy. We have something so unique here that everybody's not going to understand in the beginning. So we got to put that work in the front to make sure that we already do that. We try to kill it as many times as we could. Say, is it really viable? Let's critique it. So if you have an idea, keep critiquing it. Make sure that you're thinking about all the different things. And so once we understood, we put in the time, we were able to go to the right people. So we went to the city, we went to the county, we went to the Columbus Foundation. We put our pitch deck together, and we were able to raise about $575,000 during COVID. You know what I mean?
Wow.
From the beginning of 2020 to the end of 2020, we were able to raise those dollars to build, our spaces here. But it was only because we did enough work in the beginning to understand where the opportunity was, where the need was, how it was going to get done, how we were going to implement it. And that's how we had to sell that. So we've gotten donations, we've gotten individual donors, we've gotten grants from the city and the county, and we're looking to double that investment this year because we are actually now able to show it. So, there's a big difference between when you're talking to somebody about what you're going to do, and there's a bigger difference when people can actually see it materialize. And so now we're able to go to partners and say, yes, you supported it when it was a vision, and now you're able to see it and feel it. And now people coming here and they feel the energy, they see the connections, and they're like, how can I help? So that's going to help us get to that next level. But that is not without us doing, like what Roy is talking about. You got to constantly be looking, because through us as a nonprofit, there's a ton of nonprofits that are always grabbing for the same bucket of dollars. So you have to understand how to keep yourself sustainable. So we're in fashion, right? So we're like, we got all this equipment. Unlike a lot of other nonprofits, we can make our own product. So we actually developed a product line called Not For Profit, and it's an actual brand that we developed. So we're launching that this year, and
I'm loving it, by the way. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt. I'm loving it. I can't hold it anymore, y'all. I'm doing a gem drop, some clapping, but I just can't hold it anymore.
It's all good.
Keep going, man. Not for profit. Come on, keep going, yo.
So we got the brand we're launching. It's called Not For Profit, and that's going to be our vehicle for supporting ourselves too, to make ourselves more sustainable, self-sustainable. So we're teaching people how to build it, and then we're paying those same people to help us build unique collections that go out, and all of those dollars get put right back into the nonprofit. So we're trying to figure out, we're constantly redeveloping how we do that. And Omar, you touched on that. Roy, you touched on that. So it's good to hear other people. And I just want to say this about what Roy is doing, man, because I haven't had a chance to chime in on what y'all doing, but we grow up only seeing so many ways that we can get into things. But what you're proving, Roy, is that we grew up in a generation that didn't have hip hop. Hip hop came in when we were young. And so now we're starting to see its impact on our youth and our kids. And so that whole cycle of being responsible about how we are, getting what the effects of what we created has on our next generations is waking us up to be able to do that. So the fact that you're doing that is really dope, man. So I just want to say kudos to that, bro. So all of this knowledge.
Appreciate you, man.
Pretty good, man, for sure.
Definitely. I'm over here smiling and cheesing. That's why we do what we do right here. Yeah. So thank you for sharing all that information. That's so fire. And also the kudos. This is what the Becosystem is about. Because I'm going to tell y'all something right now before we even get toward the wrap up, is that you better believe the relationships that are being established right now on this line are going to build for years to come. And we're going to support each other and help each other in this ecosystem. Guaranteed that's going to happen. I'm expecting y'all to do the same. I want y'all to get involved with this, right? People are watching this now. You're going to watch it this weekend. You're going to watch it next week, next month. Some people won't watch this until next year. Now, this is a season finale, but this is historic, what's being shared right here on this one session. Historic, right? And y'all are watching history right in front of your eyes, but y'all get to be a part of that history, and that's cool as ever. So, let's talk about what's coming up next, right? When you think about, what we just heard, I know you might want to chime in on some of that too, from a funding perspective. You've done a lot of diligence there, so feel free.
No, absolutely. And it comes back to why this ecosystem is so important. So now let's talk about a little strategy from a funding perspective. So, raising that equity funding, but nobody really talks about debt. And the one thing, so when we start talking about strategy, and this is where we have to expand from from your operations to operationalize and scale, is it's okay to have debt. You have to have a thing called capital structure. So if you have all equity and no debt, you're going to pay more in taxes, you're going to get blasted, and that's going to reduce your cash flow. And these are the little things that they expect us to know. These are kind of tribal knowledge of things that we have to work on. So don't spend up the credit cards, but have that equity, have that debt, have a line of credit for your business so that you show debt, so that if you get into a jam, you could pull and your equity partners see that you have that balance. You also too can take some of that equity and do a bond from a debt perspective. So once again, you have to have both equity and debt, because that's how it works in larger corporations. And these are just fundamental things that we're going to touch bases with at Venture Combine. Also, too, another thing is your business model is strong when you're hiring other people.
Hold up. Go ahead, job creation. Go ahead.
We focus on the sales side, which is right. That's the carrot in front of us. That's what we got to show from a performance perspective. But your business model and sustainability, which is what kind of gets left off the table, especially with the glitz and glam of everybody raising equity funding, is your business model. You have a strong business model when you have a roadmap of growth, which is hiring folks. So be the company that Warren Buffett will buy, as opposed to some of the others, because that's what he's looking at. He's looking at business model, sustainable growth, you're hiring, and when you get that, it opens up different doors. So this is it's a great conversation, man. I'm loving this conversation. I'm loving what these cats are doing, and this is what the Becosystem is about.
Absolutely, it is. So same thing, y'all. Y'all saw me dropping those gems, because here's the deal. We're talking about elevation, right? So we're going from idea to actually executing and building your business, right? Getting it, well, your startup, then into a business, right? Formidable business. Now we're talking about the different phases of growth and scale, and even from a financial standpoint, what that should look like. So while everybody doesn't get that, what we're learning is that the resources are being established, or they are established, and we are creating this, right? So we're all learning together and we're growing, but we're tapping into those knowledge bases. And thank you, for breaking that down. That's what Venture Combine is going to be about, to help with that. But at the same time, going back to what I said earlier, we got all these ecosystems being built and all these learnings. Tap onto these pioneers, right? And let's learn and let's grow, because it's about taking our businesses to the next level. Multi-million, multi-billion dollar companies, okay? The brilliance is already there. The execution is what's next. And that's what y'all are seeing right here on this line. So with that being said, as we do get ready to go into wrap up, Roy, I'm coming back to you. Help us understand this. How do we get in contact with you or follow Healthy Hip Hop? Where can people check it out, download it, check the website, email you, all the contact stuff? Like, how do they get in contact with you and support? And we already dropped the Republic link in the in our chat as well on Facebook, and we'll do it on YouTube as well. But help us understand how people get in contact with you.
Yeah, for sure. So on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, it's just Roy Scott .ceo. And I'm open, check my DMs, I respond and all that. So on social media, Roy Scott .ceo across all of them. And the same with Healthy Hip Hop, just Healthy Hip Hop. On Twitter, it's healthy_hip_hop. But the same on all of those. And yeah, and basically my email, roy@healthy.hiphop. And I'm open to work, collaborate. I'm all about this. So the Becosystem, and this is what I'm here for, to make these kind of connections. So any way we can work together on any level, I'm here for it. And that's how you can reach me directly.
All right. Good stuff. And we're gonna come back in a minute. Yogi, same thing. How do people, I see you dropping it over here. I'm gonna drop these too. So walk us through though. How do people follow up? If they wanna learn about the initiative, Warhol and Wall Street, the work you're doing, how do they contact you?
Yep. So you can reach me on LinkedIn. I am Yohannan Terrell on LinkedIn. That's YOHANNAN Terrell, TERRELL on LinkedIn. Also that same thing on Facebook. On IG is @BigBizYogi. And if you're, if we can help you out with branding, any type of engagement there, any strategy work, you can reach me at yterrell@warholandwallstreet.com. That's in the chat. And if you want to talk fashion, you can reach me at Yohannan@columbusfashion.org. For sure.
Nice. All right. There y'all have it. All right. So I'm dropping those in as well, so you all can see that in the chat. And then Omar, same thing. How do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, you can get contact with me either at omar.venturecombine at venturecombine.com or omar@venturesuites.co. I'm on LinkedIn. Just look up Omar Nesmith. That's Nesmith, Nesmith. And I have an office at our Venture Suites right in our Bronzeville district, right across from Columbus Urban League. And you can check us out there.
Outstanding. All right. So listen, y'all have all of their contact information, right? There are no excuses in regards to, I want to be a part of that. I want to support. It's all there, right? I still gotta get Roy's. I'll get Roy's and we'll drop it in there as well. Roy, if you could drop it in the chat when you have a second, I'll go ahead and move it over to our Facebook and then our YouTube pages as well. Now listen, so this is how we wrap up the Becosystem, right? This is about not just learning, because y'all are learning, y'all have got all kind of gems. It's like a workout, right? Like, it's how much I've been moving my arms on this show, right? They're gonna be worn out. So here's the deal. Now it's about how do y'all support their efforts, right? Now, my thing has always been, if somebody's doing the work, that's 60%. We owe them the other 40. So what I want to know, and I need to know from each of you all, is what do y'all need or want from our community, right? So anybody who watches this anywhere in the world, if you say, hey, there's one thing or two things that you could do to help our efforts, what would it be? So Roy, we're gonna start with you. We know we got a few ways we can help you. I want you to drop it down though, because sometimes, as we all know, and for those that don't know this, if you haven't heard this before, closed mouths don't get fed, right? And as an entrepreneur, we sell all day long. That's what we do. And we out here, we pitch, we talk to people, we build relationships. But the one thing that people struggle with sometimes is saying, hey, I need help with this. So I'm forcing the issue and saying, what do you need help with? And what can we do to help support? So people know, and then they don't have any excuse to not help you. All right. So with that, we're going to kick it off, Roy. You started us. We're going to let you wrap us up.
Sure. So one of my old mentors told me, if you ASK, you just might GET. So I'm gonna definitely put my ass out there. You feel? So yeah, I would say definitely on the Republic campaign, if you could invest and be a part of this journey with us, that would be great. Our initial goal, the minimal goal is 25K. We're at about almost at 20 grand right now. Our goal is to hit 1 million, and we have have just recently launched our campaign, and we feel confident that we'll hit that. So that's one way. Another way is to download the app. And so right now, like I said earlier, we got about 6,000 users on the app, but really trying to, run the numbers up on that and get more people engaging with it, play it in your car with your kids, play it at home, the healthy hip hop music. So I would definitely say those two things. And on the operation side, we're going to be doing some hiring and stuff soon. So if you have any experience on the operations when it comes to like marketing, sales, etc., feel free to reach out to me directly.
Outstanding. All right, cool. I'm just taking this last note here from what you asked for, okay, in the App Store. All right, boom, there we go. All right, cool. All right, yo, you're next. What's the ASK so you could GET?
I know, right? I think we all taking that, bro.
All right.
Straight up.
Let your mentor know that it's out there now. So we're gonna be doing
for sure. It's out there.
Yeah, doing the same thing. So, I would say on a Warhol and Wall Street side, if you're really looking for a team that's going to help you engage your audiences, that's what we do. That's our specialty, from brand research to brand development to just engaging your audiences. We always can look for solving another problem. So you can reach out to me through Warhol and Wall Street there. On the nonprofit side, we're a nonprofit. Nonprofits are scrappy. We're rolling up our sleeves. So you can go to columbusfashion.org. We have a donate button. We have a fund with Columbus Foundation. You can give to us through the giving store as well too. But every dollar goes right back into programming and creating access for others to learn, connect, create, and move fashion forward. And then we're going to be bringing on more team members too. So we're also looking for some people in operations, programming experts, things like that. So if you have some knowledge to share, whether it's design, marketing, merchandising, anything like that, reach out to me, because we're a community space to share that knowledge. So you don't have to be a designer to be engaged with us. You can have all types of knowledge to share with other people. So please support us building this ecosystem, and help tell our story. Help share information about what we're doing. We're really building something unique here in this market, and it's creating a lot of opportunity for a lot of people in this community. So share our story, and we appreciate it.
Outstanding. And as far as the donate button, right, that's on the website, and that's at columbusfashion.org or?
Yep, columbusfashion.org, right.
Okay, there you go. All right, we got it. All right, Omar, what would the ask be so you could GET as well? Yeah.
The ask, right. No, the ask is on multiple levels. So we are also too open to looking for coaches for our upcoming events. Hey, every tech startup, they need a founding team, they need executives. So if you possess those types of skill sets, if you're a corporate looking for a new thing to do, hey, by all means, we want to have that experience. We're also are in the process of building a think tank around our venture combine, so that we have our cohorts and our participants just able to pitch ideas and strategies and get the help of the community to work through that. So definitely coaching. If you want to teach a course coming up, definitely see me about that. also too, just as a community, I mean, we need people to come out. I mean, this is going to be huge for the minority community and particularly African Americans. So, like I said, you know, we need the program, we need the numbers, we need the program to grow. So look for, we're going to start launching pre-sign up for all of our events. So for the hackathon, the pitch competition, and as we start to settle on cohorts and the timing of that, hey, we just need the support. So hey, keep a lookout. Like I said, come by Venture Suite, check it out, and hey, sign up.
Okay. All right, and there we have it, y'all. That's the ask. So we've got the ask from each of them, and y'all know how y'all can support. There's no reasons why you don't at this point, right? Don't talk about it, be about it. So here's the deal, y'all. We're gonna just about wrap up. We're down to the final few minutes. I'm gonna do this. Each of you are familiar with an elevator pitch, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, hey, listen. Normally we have these shows. Everybody always has like this one thing that they want to say. And then they forget. And they were like, I can't believe I forgot that. I was on the show for an hour and I ain't say it. So before you wrap up, if there was one thing you wanted to say, or if you had any wrap-up message that could be inspiring and motivating for our audience, now is your time. We're going to start with you, Roy. Once again, go ahead and wrap us up. What you got?
You said the straight elevator pitch, right?
Either elevator pitch, or if it's in regards to, if you have one last thing you wanted to share that you were like, hey, I don't want to miss this, you can go ahead and drop it now, whatever that is. And that could be elevator pitch, or that could be something else.
Okay. Yeah, I hit you with the elevator pitch, and just like I think I pretty much hit on all the bases. But you know,
there you go.
Healthy hip hop is poised to become an urban Disney, infusing hip hop culture with innovative technology, education, and positive attributes to improve learning environments for children. You think of our platform as Spotify meets TikTok in a curated environment for children and families. Just closed our biggest contract today with the Dallas Independent School District, which is over $500K. And we're on a mission to transform a generation through music, mindfulness, and motivation. Appreciate you, man.
Outstanding. There you go. And for those that don't have an elevator pitch, there you go. Now y'all get it. That's an example of what that should look like, right? So moving on from there. Yo, what do you have? Last 60 seconds. What do you have for the audience?
I don't know, but I don't got a smooth elevator pitch.
Yeah.
He said, I don't got the elevator pitch.
I couldn't even speak that, man. I was like, oh, bro, I can't even do it.
Don't you love when that happened? You like, man, why Cab ain't wrap up with him?
I know. Right? But I will say this. This is my parting message, man. Yep. One of the things that my takeaway from this whole conversation is that an example of all four of us on this call, man, is that we've learned a lot about our industry and how to get things done in our industry. And the difference is gaining knowledge. We need to rethink what we think about education. We all come from areas in which we are put into a certain culture and people think this is the only way we have to go. But embrace education, embrace knowledge, because the difference between you and the next is how much you know. And so soak up as much game as you can, man. Talk to different people, read books, all of that. We got to start valuing the education, because we could take something like hip hop and because of the knowledge that we have, create a whole platform for it. You know what I'm saying? We can take something like tech and learn as much knowledge to create a venture suite that's going to impact other people. We got to rethink how we look at education. I've been doing it. I've learned something here from all of you. Embrace that. If you have an idea, don't let it just be an idea. Take that idea and then learn as much about that industry, that the people involved, what they're doing. Learn, because the person who knows the most will have the most opportunities. So that's my parting thought.
Man, knowledge being dropped. Listen, y'all, if you miss, here's the deal. This is what I'm gonna tell you. This was I mean, like a gem drop packed show. But if you missed all the show and somebody just heard this last part with the wrap up, I mean, you're gonna walk away with something significant. So we'll leave it there. Omar, the parting words.
So I don't have the pitch. What I will say is this: the pitch is this. We are witnessing the creativity of the Harlem Renaissance and the savviness of Black Wall Street converge right here in this ecosystem. So what all I can say is it's time to be about the Becosystem.
That was a good wrap up. I'll leave it at that, right? So listen, y'all, absolutely amazing. I just want to thank Roy. I want to thank Yogi, and I want to thank Omar for joining us today for our season finale, right? We'll be back later on this year, but this was our season finale for the Becosystem. It's been an amazing, amazing run. The amount of knowledge that's been dropped, but also the work that y'all are doing, man, I'm humbled. I'm humbled, but I'm excited at the same time. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 12 months, next 2 years, next 3 years with the work that y'all are doing. So really, really amazing job. I appreciate each of you. Now for our audience, I want to thank you all for checking us out and spending the time. But I do have to ask you once again, hit the share button, tag an entrepreneur, tag a family member, a friend that you know needs to hear this message, a younger potential entrepreneur. We need our youth. You know, y'all just talking about education. We need our youth to hear this now, like right now, okay? So we need to show them that there are other options, okay? So now with that being said, y'all know to check us out on ColumbusBlack.com. Go to the website. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. That's how you find out about all these amazing discussions like this. Follow us on Facebook, okay? Hit the like button. Tell somebody else to hit the like button because they're missing out. Same thing on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, as well as hit the subscribe button on YouTube, okay? I want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to tell you what, we do have a surprise for y'all. On June 3rd, right? Y'all just heard about the Becosystem. You heard about funding. You heard about companies. You heard about scale and growth. We have Dawn Dixon live at the Venture Suite on June 3rd at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a limited invitation. You're only going to find out about it on Columbus Black. So you want to stay tuned, but we're going to have her live and we're going to be talking about all the stuff we just talked about today and how she's progressed. And y'all know she's an icon right out of Columbus, Ohio. But when it comes to this tech system, this ecosystem, this Becosystem, y'all know she's a trailblazer. So we're excited to have her live June 3rd, Venture Suite, 6:30 p.m. Once again, you're going to get the details through Columbus Black in order to actually get an invitation. So with that being said, y'all, I want to thank you all once again for joining us. I want to thank our sponsors, Venture Suite, Color Coded Labs, Venture Combine, 1921 Ventures, and Black Hack. This is what we do, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Have a good one. And remember, we always say this. In order to be more successful in your future, you need to understand a little bit about your past. That's why we just had the Becosystem season finale and we just had a blast. On that note, I'm